Hey everybody, and happy Audio Description Awareness Day, which you won't have been aware of before because this is the first year it's taken place. It was set up by my friend Juan Alcazar over at JC5 Productions, along with a few other lovely people. So I'll put a link to his video in the description below and then a card on screen now where he describes, what the project's about, how it came together, who he's been working with. And he also sets a challenge for you guys to demonstrate audio description to someone you know who isn't so familiar with it. So you could put on a TV show or a film with the AD enabled so they can hear what it's like, and you can explain, why it's so important, why it's so vital to you, because the more awareness we can raise, then the more accessible things can become in the future for visually impaired people, hopefully. So do get involved with that. That's quite an interesting and fun challenge. For my part, a few years ago, I made a video and a blog post about audio description, what it is and why it's so important to me. So I'll put links to that in the description below as well. But this time around, I wanted to release some more footage that I filmed a couple of years ago, but never actually published because it wasn't originally intended for this channel. So to put it in a bit of context very briefly, towards the end of last year, a short film was released called How to Be Human, which is a very kind of futuristic dystopian film about the rise of artificial intelligence, how it's taken over the human race, that kind of thing. It's very, very good. The story is great and the characters are really interesting and the visuals are beautiful. There's great special effects in there. There's also a very immersive soundscape as well, so I encourage you to use headphones for it. And there's also an audio described version, which I had particular interest in. I think it's been very well done, but then I kind of would say that, and I would encourage you to check that out because I was involved in the consultancy for it. I was one of various people who they were kind of consulting during the project's development along the way. And I was in contact with someone called Cesar Portillo, who was wonderful. And along the way, we were basically kind of communicating via email, giving feedback on various different iterations of the film as they tried out different approaches to the audio description. But at one point I was asked to do a video interview as well, not a live interview, but just to record my answers to various questions that they could then use for their own internal purposes in whichever way they wished. I don't think it's been published online anywhere as far as I'm aware. But in amongst all those questions, I wasn't just asked about the film and my thoughts on it, I was also asked various generic questions about my thoughts on audio description. So that's what I'm going to be showing here, my answers to those questions, because they reflect my views still very accurately, even 2 years later. So I thought it'd be nice to release this footage now, so I hope you find it interesting and enjoyable. As I say, do get involved with the audio description challenge as well. Demonstrate it to someone that you know who isn't so familiar with it, so we can help to raise further awareness. If you want to write a blog post or make your own video about it as well, do feel free, do go ahead. But yeah, these are the answers that I gave a couple of years ago to some questions about audio description to share my thoughts on it. So yeah, here you are. I hope you enjoy. To tell you a bit about my visual impairment before we get started, I have two conditions. The first I have is called Aniridia, and this means I don't have an iris in my eye, and that means I can't adjust to changes in light as easily as other people would be able to. So I'm much more sensitive to glare and bright sunlight when I'm out and about. I have to wear special green tinted sunglasses to reduce the glare. Even if it's cloudy, I may still need to wear them because there'll be enough glare kind of off the whiteness of the clouds or off kind of brightly coloured buildings or anything like that, depending on how much light there is outside. But then I also find it much harder to adjust to the dark as well. So I have to be in reasonably well lit environments to be able to see, because although I'll adjust a little bit to the dark, it won't be as much as it would for other people. So I have to be a bit careful in the dark. And then the second condition I have is nystagmus, which means my eyes move and shake about involuntarily all the time. I don't notice it because my brain compensates for it as best it can. If I'm tired or stressed, I'll notice it more. But generally speaking, it doesn't really become that noticeable. But the effect it has is that I can't focus on things because my eyes can't maintain a focus. So I can't see things like clearly at a distance. I might be able to see where a sign is, but I won't be able to read it. I've got to have things close up or in large print to be able to read them clearly. Or if I want to read signs, then I use my monocular, a telescope, to view things at a distance. I've been in London for a year now, and I've been going out and about to various places, meeting new people, trying new things. And that has included some audio description events, including tours at museums and galleries with audio description and audio described theatre shows as well, which have been great. I never really had that kind of thing where I used to live before, so it's been great to really get that experience much more than just, say, getting it on the telly. To actually get it at these proper events is great. Audio description is a way of interpreting and describing the visuals on the screen into an audio form. It's a bit like when you read a book, and when you're reading a book, be it in print or audio form, you need to have descriptions of what people look like, what they're wearing, what the scenery is like. what objects are being used in the scene, etc. So you can picture a scene in your head, you can build up this image in your head of what's going on. Audio description kind of fills the same purpose, really. If it's not being said by the characters, or you can't tell from the other noises that are going on clearly, then you need to have that extra description to just help you build up that image. If you can't see at all, then it helps you to build up a complete image. If, like me, you have some reasonable level of vision, so you can see some of what's going on, then it just helps to fill in the gaps of things you might be missing or perhaps weren't so clear about. Because I can see what's going on reasonably well if I'm watching a TV show or a film, but there will be things I miss out on. I might not be able to interpret characters' facial expressions clearly. I might not be able to have the time to analyse, what they're wearing or what objects they're picking up. If there's small objects or things like that they're picking up, I won't be able to kind of tell what they are clearly. If there's text that appears on the screen quickly, like for signs or subtitles or something, I won't be able to read them quickly enough a lot of the time, and things like that. It takes me longer to process what I'm seeing, and some things I'll just miss altogether. So audio description just really helps to fill in the gaps in that respect. So it can serve different purposes for different people depending on how much information they need. But yeah, it is just really kind of, in a way, turning what's on screen into kind of an almost an audiobook type form in a way, filling in the gaps that the speech and sound isn't doing on its own. When it comes to engaging audiences, I think audio description is very, very important indeed. I think it enables everybody to join in with the film together. You're not excluding a certain group of people just because they can't see. You're enabling them to get involved and enjoy it with everybody else, and to be able to understand it, to be able to appreciate the emotions of the characters and understand what's happening, and thus appreciate why certain things are happening, why certain characters are doing certain things, and so on. Just really getting immersed in the story and enjoying it just the same way everybody else would. So you can enjoy it there and then in the moment, and you can talk about it with your friends afterwards as well. You can share in the experience with your friends and other people, and just feel a part of the experience and not feel left out. It just makes you feel included, and that's great. The soundtrack of a film is very, very important, I think, because it can add so much to the visuals that are on the screen. The soundtrack can paint even more of an image in your head than just the visuals alone, which may sound strange, but the soundtrack can help you fully understand people's emotions and thoughts and feelings, and kind of the overall situation, the scene that people are in. It can express danger, it can express love, it can express happiness and sadness and fear and hope and all sorts of things. So, as well as the audio description, you've got obviously things like characters' speech, which is helping to convey exposition for the story, and, relationships between characters and people's thought processes if they're discussing things with somebody else. You've obviously got all the sound effects as well, which kind of help to add to a scene, because without sound effects, a scene can feel kind of strangely ghostly and empty and not what it's meant to be. So, just all the subtle sound effects can make a difference. And then the music can make a huge difference as well, depending on how well it's used. If music is used effectively, then it can be really, really powerful. Sometimes it can be just there in the background, just kind of gently there, just helping to kind of convey emotions and feelings and things without you really considering it or consciously noticing it, but it is there. And then other times it can be kind of really punchy and upfront, especially if there's no speech going on, perhaps. It can convey like action if there's a lot of action going on, or again, just some sort of emotion like sadness or happiness or whatever it may be. And then sometimes you get no music at all. If you've got a film with music in it, then the music cuts out. That can also be very powerful if used effectively as well, like cutting to a black screen or something like that. Sometimes nothing is as powerful as something, depending on when and where it's used. So yeah, the soundtrack of a film, be it speech or audio description or music or sound effects, whatever it may be, it's all a big art form in itself and all very powerful and can really help to add to the visuals of the film. Good audio description makes me feel much more immersed in the story. It helps me to understand it and enjoy it as a result. Because if I didn't understand what was going on, then I would just lose interest and just not bother watching it, because what's the point? So yeah, good audio description, when it's well done, really helps me to paint a clear image in my head of what's going on, what the characters are doing, how they're feeling, what's happening in every scene. so that I'm not missing out on any crucial elements that will make me kind of think later on, well, hang on, why is that happening, or why are they doing this? I missed that bit earlier, because I won't know if I've missed stuff if I wasn't aware it was there in the first place, and I then find out later if it's too late or anything like that. So good audio description gives me all the key information I need without overwhelming me or anything like that, without giving me lots of superfluous information I don't need. Gives me all the important key information that I need to enjoy the story along with everyone else, so I feel a part of it and I don't feel like I'm missing out, and I can just relax and enjoy it. If a film doesn't have audio description, then it means I'm missing out on information of some sort in the film. It could be crucial information, it could be something light-hearted, it could be something that ensures the film makes sense, whereas without it, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to understand enough of what I'm seeing and hearing to enjoy the film and understand the story, at a basic enough level, but there will still be stuff I'm missing out on that would have enhanced it further and improved my understanding and appreciation of it. But other times it will mean that I just can't enjoy the film at all, and I'll just either get to the end and be completely mystified and bored, or I won't even get to the end. I'll just give up partway through thinking, no, I don't understand this at all, and just give up. Because I just feel like I'm missing out on too much information. Some films can be very, very complex. Some films can have very fast-moving scenes where it's really difficult to understand what's going on. There might be writing on the screen, be it subtitles or signs or whatever, conveying important information. There could be a lot of things that are expressed through silence, like facial expressions, and characters are expressing emotions that I can't make out clearly, and therefore I can't appreciate why a character is doing things because I can't interpret their thought processes. It just reduces the enjoyment of the film for me, and I can't engage with it and just feel so interested in it. And it's a shame to feel that you're missing out, because I might be talking to someone later and they'd say, oh, did you see this film? And I'll say, yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? Or did you see this bit where they were doing that, or they picked that up or whatever? And I'm thinking, no, I didn't see that. Or did you see that sign there that said that? No, did it say that? Oh, I wish I'd known that. That would have made a lot more sense then. Or something like that. You can't enjoy it at the same level as other people. So you just feel like a lesser individual, because you can't join in conversations like that if people have seen a film that you couldn't enjoy simply because you couldn't see it. So having audio description puts you on a much more level footing with everybody else, and means you can just enjoy it with everybody else and not feel left out or any kind of less of a person for it not being there. I would tell the directors and members of future films that audio description is a vital and inclusive tool. I think it helps more people in the audience to enjoy and appreciate and engage with the production and to share in it together. It puts everybody on an equal footing. Nobody feels like they're missing out. And it means that ultimately, the word about your film will spread all the more further, because, for all the trailers and things you might put out, nothing is as powerful as word of mouth in terms of advertising. That's the most powerful form of advertising there is, especially with social media out there these days. And if you get people in the disability community talking about it as well as everybody else, the word is going to spread really far. You're going to get people spreading the word saying, oh, I saw this great film that had great audio description on it. You really ought to go and see it. And the word will spread kind of worldwide. And you'll earn not just more money, but you'll earn a lot more respect as well from the disability community, be it individuals and organisations and stuff. That will get you a lot of extra positive publicity. It will help you to produce future films as well then, because you'll be even more likely to get the support you need to help produce those things. And it's just win-win for all involved. So if you just make that extra little bit of effort, just to add that extra bit of description in there to make it more inclusive for people, even if it takes a little bit of extra time and money to start with, it can really pay off in the long run, because you learn a lot of respect out of it, and it will just really help your profile and all your future projects and everything. It's win-win for everybody involved. Disabled people feel included, and you prosper more. It's a no-brainer. I think if done well, audio description is really effective and really works well. I, for one, certainly really appreciate it, and I find it really useful, and it just makes me feel included and on a level footing with everyone else. And I just really enjoy films that have it, because it's nice to know that the producers have made the effort and thought about people in my position, and I really appreciate and respect that. So yeah, it would be great to see it in many more productions. I think it's really, really important and useful. I think the future of audio description needs to be that it's rolled out a lot more widely than it is now. A lot of TV shows have it, but many still don't. It's not often included on DVD and Blu-ray releases still. It's not always easily accessible in the cinemas. Streaming services have it, but only for select shows. YouTube doesn't provide an option for people to add it at all. There's a lot of work still to be done on audio description. It would be great to see it just as a standard feature. We've had subtitles and captioning as a pretty standard feature for a lot of things for a long time now. Even they're not available for everything where they should be, but they're a lot more easy to find and to access as a standard feature than audio description is. I know audio description is a lot of work, but by putting in that little bit of extra effort and time, it really does make a difference to a huge number of people. And it really is worth putting it in to help everyone enjoy the same things together. And it will earn you a lot more respect as a producer and a filmmaker and an actor, whatever role you may have in a production. The fact that you're thinking about including other people automatically just earns you that kind of admiration and respect. Even if it's not done perfectly, even if you learn lessons from one production to the next about how to do it better, the fact that you're even giving it a go is wonderful. So yeah, I think there's a lot to gain from people using audio description, both from the people it serves and from the people who provide it. And it would just be great just to see it there as standard, legislate it if you have to, get the bodies who control what needs to be done for films or TV shows or, whatever the regulators are for different industries, just to, mandate that audio description needs to be included, on a much higher percentage of productions, and just get people into the habit of adding it and producing it. And I think it will just make the whole, film and TV business and, theatre and whatever else it may be, just to feel more inclusive, for more people. Like I say, captioning and subtitles is already there for a lot of people. So let's get audio description up there. Let's make as many people as possible feel on a much more equal footing with each other, so everybody can just go out and enjoy things together and just really all feel equal. It's all about equality at the end of the day and accessibility. And audio description is a really important and key part of that. And I would just love to see it rolled out a lot more widely, because I think it's a great thing. I really appreciate it, and I know many, many, many other people do as well. So yeah, it would be a great benefit to see it rolled out much more widely.